In order to answer this, we need to step back in time, clear back to 1995, and then farther back to 1895, and then just a little farther back to, say, 500 million years ago, because this story starts back when all the nations of the world were one big happy landmass. The place that would one day be Mansfield, Ohio, was under a great shallow sea, and as mountains rose to the east of us, the weather would wear them down and wash the pieces into the water, where it settled to make a sandy bottom. As long as Mansfield was underwater, it collected salt and sand and rocks and shells, and all that compressed together into layers and layers of stone. During the age of dinosaurs, Mansfield was above water, which is why we don't find dinosaur bones here. Then during the Ice Age, huge mountains of ice a mile high pushed through Richland County and carved out the flats north of town, but it left a couple of little mountains to watch over Mansfield. One of them rises above Newman Street and is easily seen from almost anywhere downtown. It rises as the background of our life, and it's always been there, so we tend to not even see it. It's most obvious from Route 30, and if you're driving east out of town, you go through a pass that is cut right from the living sandstone of the little mountain. It isn't the only place the little mountain has been cut through. Back in the early 1800s, someone cut into the hillside to discover the rich load of stone inside and set about to make it into a sandstone quarry. Throughout the next 100 years, the little mountain was quarried on 3 sides, and thousands of tons of sandstone were cut out. A lot of it was shipped out on the railroads, but most of it can still be found in Mansfield, in the foundations and basements of houses and buildings all over town, and in the few stone bridges that survive from those days, like this one on 4th Street by Northlake Park. And even though there are quarries all over the state where stone can come from, it's easier than you might think to know which sandstone came from our little mountain. Layers of sand were laid down in different ways in each place and combined with different minerals to create very individual colors and patterns. Looking at the stonework at Northlake Park, you can see that our stone can be very pink and red, and because Mansfield was at the water's edge back when the sand was laid down, it can have very elaborate scallops and rippling patterns. And if you take this rough stone and polish it flat, it can have incredible Martin Bushnell knew this back in 1890, and he bought the quarry so that he could have his whole house built out of it. The Bushnell house still stands on Sturgis Avenue, and it's on the National Registry of Historic Houses as testament to the rare quality of natural wonder that makes up the very earth of our town. To understand that, we need to move the story to Argentina. During most of the 1800s, it was a country that was at war with itself and divided between 2 political forces, the Federales and the Unitarios, who were also called the Reds and the Whites. In the 1890s, President Roca succeeded in uniting the Reds and the Whites, and as a symbolic gesture he had 2 national buildings united together into a presidential palace by building a grand archway between them. And to honor the Reds and the Whites, he built it out of stone that was pink, which his architect had shipped from Mansfield, Ohio. Our president lives in the White House. Their president lives in the Casa Rosada, the pink house. You'll find that in time and weather our pink sandstone tends to turn brown, and so the Argentinos began painting the place. In the 90s it was pink panther pink, and at present it's more pink flamingo pink. But if you dig back through all those layers of paint, what you'll find is Mansfield pink sandstone. During the 1940s, Buenos Aires was the scene of a great revolution, and people around the world became familiar with the Casa Rosada when the president's wife became an internationally fashionable celebrity. Her name was Eva Perón, and she was almost a saint to her own people who called her Evita. She often spoke to crowds from a railing high up on the Casa Rosada, and to this day they still call the spot Evita's balcony. Her life was the subject of a smash Broadway musical in the 1980s called Evita, and in 1995, when it was made into a movie, the role was played by Madonna. The Argentine government agreed to let them film this scene on the actual balcony of the Casa Rosada. So while you're watching Madonna sing, you know that she's surrounded by Mansfield pink sandstone. So remember, no matter where you go in the world, you never really leave home behind, and you may even find it there already waiting for you.